Hi guys, it's Elena and I'm enchanted to have you be here on my channel. On today's video, we're doing a plan with me, but instead of using my traditional happy planner that I've been planning in for a very long time, I'm starting a bullet journal. Yes, I understand that it's May and it's in the middle of the year, but it really doesn't matter when you start your bullet journal. You could start it whenever inspiration strikes, whenever it's most convenient for you, and there's really no rules as to when you can and cannot start a bullet journal. So this is me starting a bullet journal kind of in the middle of the year, and this is how I do my yearly setup, and this is the first month of this bullet journal, which will be May. And this is gonna be a May plan with me as alongside with how I set up my bullet journal for the rest of the year, if that kind of makes sense. Sorry, I was kind of like working really hard and trying to find words. Sometimes words are pretty hard. Not only am I going to show you and have you understand that a bullet journal can be started during any time of the year, I will also point out how many mistakes I have made and help you correct the mistakes, because nobody's perfect. Things don't work out exactly as you planned, and you know what? It's okay. The lines that you see me making here is for the spread for a year at a glance, and I'm doing April through January. That way I can pick up whatever was important from last month, and I have some space to put in things for January just in case I'm not ready with the next journal and I just need, space to write down important dates, because I am notorious for forgetting and not being very well on time, as you can probably know if you're a subscriber and my videos are not at a perfect schedule. Now, there's no magic way of just coming up with a layout. All of the layouts that I have on here are pre-drawn out in pencil, and they took some planning, they took some time and effort to kind of work out and map out. So it does take time to be able to count out the dots and the lines and the grids and make sure that you have everything lined up properly. So I don't know if some other YouTubes might have explained it, might have not. A lot of these spreads become pre-planned and pre-organized, so it's a smoother video to make. So here is that. Now for the yearly spread, I really enjoy using different colors for different events. So normally I would use purple to mark out any witchy or pagan things, for instance like new moon and full moon and any of the Sabbats or Esbats and stuff like that. And then I'd use a black pen to map out birthdays, blue pen holidays or other random year events, and a red pen for very important dates. And that makes my planner very colorful, so this is why I'm starting off my planner kind of in a pastel rainbow sort of thing. A couple rainbowy colors, that way it doesn't stand out too much. And you gotta admit, these colors together just look so pretty. They make me really excited. So my kind of like the basic spreads are going to be rainbowy. And I'm using stickers because my handwriting is not the best. If you want to see me organizing my stickers, I'm gonna put up a link up above. There were a lot of stickers for me to go through. So doing a bullet journal, not everybody needs to have perfect calligraphy. I definitely do not. My handwriting resembles that of chicken scratch. And it takes a lot of effort for me to be able to write decently. So stickers really do save my life. Here is that, put it in April through January, and now it looks so nice. I'm also writing in all the dates, so I have little calendars on the side, and I can kind of take a look and see, where Monday is, where Tuesday is, and that sort of thing. For doing numbers like this, I really find it handy to use the thinnest pen that you can possibly find, and for these the micron pens in 0.05 are literally the absolute best. They write so thinly, so small. I mean, if you want to write small in your journal, but I really like the tiny details and I don't mind seeing very small handwriting, and those micron markers are literally the best. All the supplies that I'm going to be using, I'm going to put it down in the description. If you have any curiosities and you want to check it out, I'm also going to attach my links through Amazon with them. That way I make a couple cents if you click on it and if you end up buying it, and it doesn't make it any more expensive to you, so it's a win-win situation. It was quite tedious to write in all those numbers, but I definitely like the way it came out. Another thing it's okay with a bullet journal is if you change your mind on how you want the layout to look. Now, I ended up doing that little colorful line, and I did colorful letters for the goals, and it wasn't working for me. So I had to brainstorm on what to do to fix it. I'm also putting in these pastel stickers from Sticky Club subscription, and I feel like they just tied in the page so well. They just look so cute, so dainty, so delicate, and the colors complemented the colors that I ended up using. And they're kind of like a see-through washi type of stickers. There's a little parakeets in a basket, and it's the cutest thing in the world. So flowers and stickers definitely help to tie in that year at a glance spread. Like I said, I didn't really like that goals line, so I ended up taking gold washi tape, plopping that over, and trying to figure out what would be best thing to put it, because it just kind of looked more retro-y rather than pastel, like a delicate pastel. I don't know, it just wasn't working for me, so I covered it with flowers and wrote goals in teeny tiny letters with a heart. See, mistakes are okay, and you can't even tell that I completely messed up. On the other side of the page, I'm doing kind of like a witchy cheat sheet, and I'm putting in the correspondences with new moon, full moon, first quarter, and second quarter, and fourth quarter. I'm also putting in correspondences to the day of the week and to colors, as well as kind of like a bullet journal cheat sheet. So, like, this is a task, this is an event, completed, reassigned, etc., etc. Doing this like little oh, there's my little kitty, she decided to say hi. Doing this like little witchy cheat sheet definitely helps me out, especially if I have to plan something out during the week to kind of work out a spell or work out an intention. It just kind of helps align it alongside better with kind of, I don't know, the universe. Does that make sense? Look at her, she's so cute. My kitty decides to be so cute and so fluffy in the most inopportune times possible. And she just absolutely loves to cuddle and loves to snuggle. This is what she wants. Right here. Wow, my hair is crazy. You normally don't see me when I'm doing my arts and crafts stuff. Yeah. Here's the baby. These aren't real glasses, they're blue light filter glasses. They help me with the bright lights that are shining on my table. So, temporary pause. Yeah. I can't get over my hair. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that kitty love. She is the cutest and the sweetest. As I was trying to say, having this little witchy guideline is quite important for me. It just helps me out throughout my day just to kind of set my intentions. If I need to do a little spell on the fly or some grounding, it just kind of helps out. My little cheat sheet is kind of symbols that I'm using with my planner and to help keep myself organized, to help keep my brain organized, and that type of thing. So I'm just decorating it with some stickers. I wanted to do some gold decals and added some witchy stickers type of stuff to it to give it a little bit more of a pagan aesthetic, I suppose. And these stickers were just so perfect. They were little stars, little moons, there's like a little crystal ball, and it was cute, and I really enjoyed doing the stickers. Most of the stickers that I'm using are from Sticky Club subscription boxes that I get monthly. I have a couple of reviews up on my channel if you are curious to check them out. And a few others are from stickles that I have collected from gifts or at stores over my years, because I'm a bit of a sticker connoisseur, if you want to call it that. This spread here I'm doing is my YouTube video schedule. I kind of put in the remaining months, and I just want to put in like the dates 1 through 31 kind of in the center, and I'm going to be going over with a highlighter to kind of map out the days that I'm going to be posting a video. Right now my schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and so far it's been working out. I have too many ideas for doing YouTube videos and not enough time to do them all. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday seems to be a good balance between allowing myself time to edit and make sure that they're not as crappy, and to learn and that type of stuff, and to provide like interesting content for you guys, and mainly for myself. The videos that I post are videos that I enjoy doing, so here is that. As I said, I'm highlighting Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays so I can see kind of like the month, and on the side what date that is. I'm going to be writing in kind of like the titles of the videos that I'll be doing and that type of thing. This page I want to do kind of like a sticky note setup. I know sometimes space can be limited in a bullet journal, or if there's extra days that I just have so much stuff going on that I just don't have enough room to write them in. So I decided to set up a sticky note space so I can flip back to it and just stick in a sticky note and add another couple square inches of space to write stuff down. The spread that you see me putting in those same pastel-y colors is a year in pixels kind of thing, but I'm doing it a little bit differently. I already have the colors in, and I'm just going to be putting in like little symbols inside them, and I did May through December, and it's kind of going to be in like a scale 1 through 5. Here's another mistake that I did. I didn't do them long enough, so I'm just going back and extending those little lines. On the side, again, I put down number 1 through 31. That way it corresponds with dates. I know some months don't have 31 days, so I'm just not going to fill in that pixel. And on the side, I was trying to figure out what kind of symbols are going to go great and not look too crazy. I was thinking of doing an X's and putting in like 2X line is kind of like the happiest mood, 3X line is a little less, and the more kind of lines through it, the worse mood gets, but I did not like that, so boom, that mistake gets covered up again. So I'm leaving that as is. I'm gonna brainstorm on what kind of symbol works out better for me, I suppose. So first month spread. Woo, I'm excited. For the month of May, I didn't want to restrict myself to do a specific type of theme, but I'm just gonna go alongside with a similar color palette, I suppose. So the whole month is gonna be these beautiful muted tones of browns and neutrals and a little bit of like a coppery rose gold, just to kind of tie in the whole month together. But every week is a different theme, just using those same colors. That way it's all like aesthetically pleasing, and I don't get bored at looking the same doodles. Because I definitely like variety. If you've seen my other Plan With Me videos, every week is different, every week is different colors, different doodles, different drawings, different type of stuff. So I wanted this bullet journal to kind of have a same theme throughout May, with the same color scheme theme throughout May, but make the weeks kind of different. Does that make sense? Just keep watching and you'll see exactly what I mean. So here I'm doing little leaves and I'm just tracing them over with this wonderful like metallic-y copper pen. And it's kind of coppery, kind of rose gold, somewhere in the middle of that color, but it's like such a wonderful metallic pen. It's amazing. It's literally one of my favorite like metallic-y pens that I've ever used, and the sheen is like legit metallic-y and it writes on pretty much anything. The only problem is it can leak, like right there. Since it's such a thick, like a very viscous metallic-ness type of thing. I don't know, it reminds me like a patch-up thing for cars, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the only issue, is that it can leak and make spots. So, stickers. Stickers are a great way to cover up any mistakes that you have made. Ta-da! And you can't even tell. So on this side, I'm doing a little calendar, that way I can take a look at it and see kind of what day, what number falls on what day, and see the weeks and that type of thing, kind of like a good at a glance spot. On the other side, I am doing a kind of individual day thing. I'm labeling the side 1 through 31, so any important events, any notes or any things like that I need to write in for that specific day are gonna go alongside with it on the side. That way it keeps it organized, I'm able to see it better, and hopefully this spread will work out. We'll see how it goes. Now, this isn't my first bullet journal that I've done. I've done a few bullet journal spreads about 2 years ago, and I only did it for like maybe a month or a couple months, and it just didn't work out. Hopefully this time it'll be different, because I just love the aestheticness of bullet journals, and we'll see how it goes if I keep doing the bullet journal or if I end up switching back to my happy planner. But my happy planner, I just don't like how bulky it is. I mean, it's nice that I have so much room, but I don't like how much room it takes up. Like this little thing, I just stick it in my purse and take it with me wherever I go. Not that during this COVID thing I'm going anywhere, but I'm being optimistic that I can get out of the house pretty soon. And hopefully you guys are doing decent as well. So this spread is my monthly habit tracker. As you can see, I've already done a little bit of a mistake. I didn't fill in the squares exactly where they needed to be. So mistakes are easily fixable. Don't panic if your bullet journal's not perfect. You'll learn from your mistakes, I suppose. I'm using a watercolor pencil to kind of highlight out the little grids inside, the little like highlighted area, if that makes sense. So it's not too harsh and it's not too like in your face, but I can still see the little squares and I'm able to fill in that square if I have completed the habit that I'm trying to track. Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense. Sometimes I don't even know if you guys understand me or not. Comment down below with like a thumbs up or something that you understand my jibber jabber. And if not, let me know how I can fix it, because I'm sorry. So as I said, I'm filling in my habit tracker the little squares and stuff with a watercolor pencil, so it's not too harsh and that there are still lines there. Hopefully that's a better explanation. When I did my bullet journals before, I put in so much stuff into my habit tracker because like, ooh, I want to track everything. I want to track how much water I drank. I want to track how much exercise I did. I want to track this. I want to track that. And then it ended up getting like so overwhelming and I didn't fill it in, and then I'd get disappointed for not filling it in. So I'm limiting myself to just 8 little habits to track, and hopefully I'm going to end up using this page. Another one of my favorite things to do is to use my white gel pen on top of like a really dark marker, and it just comes out so nice and so pretty, and it just, sorry, that's Puppy, give me a second. She knows that during this time when I'm doing a voiceover or talking to the camera is the time that she gets her like special chew toys and chew treats, so I can keep her quiet. The spread before was a brain dump page for any notes or any extra things that I need to write in or type in, and this is the first week that I'm going to be doing in the bullet journal. And I decided to go kind of with a vintage stamps or vintage letter carrier type of spread, and I have these little stamps that are so cute and look old-fashioned and kind of old and worn. And they have like the little scents and stuff on the side, which is just so charming. And I'm putting it in on the center of it because that's where I have kind of the most amount of space for doodles and drawings, especially in this layout that I'm doing. I'm doing a whole full week layout where it's just going to be columns up and down, and that way I hope I have enough room to write stuff in and it's kind of organized. So I'm using a stamp that looks kind of like a letter or like a postcard or like the center of a postcard, something like that, just to give it more of a writing-esque aesthetic. I don't know how to explain this spread and how to talk about it, but pretty much stamps, letter, old-fashioned, and a very neutral color tone. Hopefully that kind of sums up what I decided to do for the first week. Now, this first week, I grabbed a couple days of April as well, because I'm starting it a little before May, and I just wanted to get it all in, get it all done, and it ended up just lining up perfectly to do exactly even amount of spreads to cover up for May and May's 30 days, if that makes sense. So again, I'm using my, puppy making noise, gel pen to write over the dark brown marker. I just like the way it looks, gives it a very nice aesthetic. In here I'm putting in a couple things that I want to track more effectively. I want to track how many steps I take in the day, how many calories I eat, how many calories I work off, and how much water I intake. I know I was just saying earlier that my previous bullet journals I ended up tracking too much and trying to fill it in, but this is more of kind of like a guide and overview, not something that I'm going to be doing exactly or in particular, just kind of, I don't know, just to be mindful of it there, be more mindful of it rather than being notorious for fully tracking it. Hopefully that makes sense. So I ended up skipping a couple pages to do the watercolor on this page. I wanted to see how these pages are able to handle the watercolor and if there's any bleed through or if it just comes out too crazy and I'm able to just literally cover up the other pages with stickers. That's why I ended up skipping a week so I can test out how the watercolors go. But so far, this paper held it up quite nicely. I was very surprised. There wasn't that much warping, wasn't that much bending, it wasn't really getting soaked and soggy. It actually did a really good job. I'm pretty proud of it. Overall, this paper in this bullet journal is pretty thick and it's very, very smooth. And I really, really like it. I have a couple other bullet journals that I use the same exact journal. This is just the Lemome bullet journal or Lemome dot grid journal that I got off of Amazon. Again, the pages are absolutely amazing and thick and wonderful, and in the back they have like a little pocket, so it's a really great notebook and I really enjoy using it. So this spread that I'm doing for this week, I wanted it to be really dark background so I can use that gel pen again. As I've mentioned, I really like the way that looks. It's kind of like a negative, and I was thinking really hard of what I wanted to do for kind of drawing it with the gel pen, and I decided to come up with like these vines with little flowers on them. The idea was great. My vision was great. Drawing out the vines was great until I got to drawing out the little flowers. The end result, I do love the end result and how it came out, and it just looks so dainty and tiny and pretty and beautiful and detailed and delicate, but the process to get there took me a while. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a spread like that ever again. I might use stamps next time or some other things so I don't have to physically draw everything out myself. But the end result is definitely worth it. What I'm trying to do with these vines is to make it look like they're behind the weekly spread and where I'm going to be writing things in, so it just looks a little bit more 3D-ish, or there's like more dimension, more layers, more detail, I suppose. That kind of works. And this pen just works magic on top of a lot of on top of almost any dark background, pretty much. And I think that's the Sakura white gel pen thing. Again, something that I just got off of Amazon. None of these products are too expensive or too fancy or unobtainable. Really, I don't do anything crazy in my bullet journals, but yeah, I really like the way it's looking. And I could have left it just like that with the branches. I think it looks pretty nice too. But I decided to be extra and add in all those tiny flowers. Yep, as you can see, it's gonna take a lot of time to fill up the whole 2 pages with these teeny tiny flowers. I'm also sorry for moving around this bullet journal as I was drawing and doing stuff in it, but look how tiny and delicate and cute these flowers are. I really enjoy the aesthetic of how it came out, but it took such a process for me to get to it. As I was saying, I'm sorry for moving and twisting this bullet journal around. My intention when I started off was to kind of have it be flat on the table with an overhead view so you guys can have a nice view of how I'm doing everything, but I ended up getting too in the moment and just went a little crazy with doing it from side to side and stuff like that. So I apologize if it makes you a little bit dizzy. I'll try better for next time, and hopefully you still enjoyed my spreads and my creativity, I suppose. I also find it really interesting of doing these videos and then rewatching them to do the voiceover. And I'm seeing it, it's like, ooh, that's pretty cool how I thought of that. But I could have kind of done it a little bit better, so I keep getting inspired for the next spread and inspired to do more artwork, which just really fills my heart with joy. I definitely enjoy it. Hopefully watching me do all these little doodles and flowers isn't too boring for you. I got a little bored along the way, so I ended up skipping through different things. I used that same coppery metallic-y pen to write in the days of the week and the numbers for those days, alongside with some details and like numberings on the side. And then I continued to add in more flowers and more branches and more flowers. I decided to save myself a couple square inches of space for filling out these flowers and added in a couple stickers that go alongside with the theme. I think those are the most variety of colors I have added to a spread. And then I got tired of doing the flowers and I switched gears and decided to do the weekly spread before that one. Otherwise, I was gonna go crazy with drawing in all those flowers. Continuing on with that neutrals theme, I decided to make this spread kind of like a coffee shop aesthetic or a cafe vibe type of thing, and this spread came out kind of like my favorite spread that I have done. I just love opening it up and seeing it, and it just gives me such good coffee house vibes. I don't know why, but maybe the coffee stains that I drew in give it more of that realistic aestheticness. if that makes sense. So I decided to kind of do this mocha nudish tannish color, the background for my layout spread. That way when I write in with here's that coffee stain that I was practicing on, I took my actual coffee mug, put some brown paint on it, and then bam, coffee stain. And I just love the way it looks. It just looks so cute. I should have made it a little bit like more runny. I don't know. But it came out pretty good. I did lines again here to track my steps, my calories, and that type of thing. And there I did another coffee stain-esque, and I dabbed it with like a paper towel, just like you would with like a coffee stain. I think it came out pretty good. I also put in all of these like coffee beverages and lattes and mochas. I don't know all those fancy names for it. Cappuccinos. So I put those stickers in, and they seriously tied in that whole like coffee vibe. It made it look less of a coffee stained mess and more of like, oh, I think those are supposed to be there. I don't know. I think this spread came out the cutest and one of my favorites. Okay, back to doing some flowers. I really like this spread too. I love the detail in it, but I think I'm just traumatized with how many flowers I had to draw in order for it to come out like the way I envisioned it to come out. I also want to know which spread you guys like the best out of the couple spreads that I have done for May. Let me know down in the comments and let me know what you think about it. So I kept switching gears with doing these flowers. I would do like a bunch of flowers, and then my hand would cramp, and then I'd move on to doing something else, and then I'd go in and do a bunch more flowers and a bunch more branches and fill it in as much as I can, and then my hand would cramp and then fill in more flowers. Oh my goodness, the tedious work of it, but I just really enjoyed the way it came out. That like page that's been being almost completed is just so pretty, so cute. And here I am again switching gears to another spread so that my hand doesn't fall off from all those teeny tiny flowers that I've been drawing in for hours and hours and hours. You guys get the sped up version. I had to sit there for hours and hours and hours to draw them. Here I'm doing like a simple different browns and neutrals kind of lines up and down, and I really liked how simple this one was, but how nice it ended up coming out, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like maybe woodsy vines or like woodsy forest, that type of stuff. I did outline all of my kind of like weekly columns in a darker color, so they stand out more from that woodsy columns type of stuff, so they ended up becoming more like part of the woods rather than in front of it or like aside from it. This I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, but pretty much to outline them without overly outlining them. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm really sorry if I'm just babbling and you're half confused of what I'm trying to say, but I'm doing my best here. There's a lot of words that are hard. And I'm just enjoying talking about my artwork pretty much. I've seen a couple other YouTubers do bullet journals and do like the straight lines without using a ruler. I don't know how they're able to control their lines that way. I could never. I don't know if my hand just shakes too much or if I just don't have that precision. I really can't, so I use a ruler whenever I need to do a straight line because it's not going to come out straight if I don't use that ruler. So I'm using that white gel pen again and that coppery pen here, and then I'm taking that coppery pen and doing a ton of dots in between all of those like lines and branches. I feel like it ties it in a lot better, so it's like not too much empty space, and it just kind of, I feel like it flows really, really well. So I did that between as many spaces as I can where there were lines, and then I took stickers to kind of decorate the bottom and to have like nice foliage down at the bottom, which I thought was really cute. Now, I initially thought that these stickers had a white background. That way it would have stood out fine over those lines, but they ended up being clear, and I was a little bit surprised, as you could see me switching gears right here, be like, yeah, that's not really working. So I ended up just putting them on where I had like the blank spots, and it ended up working out just fine. It tied in the whole thing. I didn't have to keep making the lines, and it wasn't too bad. And I love how the colors matched almost perfectly with the markers that I've used. I feel like overall it came out pretty good. And then I put in a couple more details. I numbered my important goals up at the top and the trackers that I'm using for that week, and then I'm back to doing the flowers. More flowers and more flowers and more flowers. I want to know, have any of you guys ever done a spread that you envisioned was absolutely cute and amazing, and then as you started working on that spread, you were like, okay, hold on, this is gonna take a lot more work than I fully anticipated. And then as you keep going with that spread, it's like, this is taking a lot more work than I fully anticipated, but you're still happy with the results. That's kind of how I feel about this spread. And here I am finishing up these gorgeous, cute, teeny tiny little delicate flowers, and the spread is really coming together. It's probably one of my most difficult things that I've ever done, but my goodness, do I love the detail of it. It just looks so good. Alright, that tediousness is over, and on to the next weekly spread. This one, I ended up having a big mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what was going on. My brain just decided to kind of malfunction. So instead of doing 7 days, I did 8 days, and to be honest, I have no idea how I miscalculated and how I went so far with drawing in all those weeks. And then why I realized it so late in the game that I have completely and utterly messed up, but I was still able to fix it, and it didn't come out as bad in the end. So here's another way that if you make a giant and terrible mistakes, like miscalculating these days and adding in an extra day in the week apparently, then you're still able to kind of fix it and go back and work through it pretty much. So here I am talking about it, doing the voiceover of how I'm gonna fix the mistake, and just look how long it took me to realize how I messed up. I mean, I put in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Hold up. Nope, still didn't realize it. Day 28, and I'm just like, wait, what's going on? It took me so long to realize my mistake. There's only 31 days in May. There's no 32 days in May. I really don't know what I was thinking. So here I am, whiting out, and then boom, washi tape. Washi tape fixes everything. And it didn't come out half as bad. I got this washi tape off of Wish. It also has like coffee house and cafe aesthetics and views and that type of stuff, but the sayings that they have written in make no sense. Hold on, let me go grab it and kind of like read them off for you. Like, they really make no sense in English, and it's the funniest thing ever. So there's a phrase that says good night and have a good night. That kind of makes sense. And then it says, every night before going to bed to listen to you say good night belongs to me. I mean, it started off great, and then it's like not fully properly translated well. And there's like a ton of like different sayings and phrases on there that are kind of there, but not really there. And it's like someone put it through Google Translate and it didn't come out in proper grammatic form. I'm not hating on it, I just find it kind of silly that it's not really working out. But the pictures and little things on it are so cute, and I really like the vibe that it's coming off. Oh, there's more of my crazy hair that you saw. And then I took some more washi tape, put it on the side, on the insides there, so I don't have to really draw anything or color anything in, and I feel like it just looks really, really good. Simple, sweet, and it works. On these pages here, I decided to do a running to-do list, or a running task list. I've done it before in a separate notebook, not in my Happy Planner journal, just in a separate notebook, because it's literally just an ongoing list that I change up either once a week. I did change up once a week or once a month, and I kind of really like it. I enjoy going back and seeing how much I crossed off. So the way that it works is you just write down everything and anything that you ever possibly want to accomplish. So chores, tasks, videos I want to do, videos I want to record, artwork, shopping stuff, and just continuous and ongoing list of stuff that you want to get done. And then you go back and cross them off. And then when the next month comes, I'm going to go back, and whatever is not completed, I will transfer over to the next month and add on whatever I needed to get done for that month. That way I feel like I'm less overwhelmed, yet I still have a list of everything that's going on, and it just has been working for me great for the past couple of months, and I just absolutely love it. Here's another mistake where I didn't write it in properly, and I didn't like the way those looked. So again, stickers and washi tape cover up any sins you have done in your bullet journal. Stickers and washi tapes, guys. Repeat after me. Stickers and washi tapes. So I ended up covering it up with those brown stickers that tied up the beginning of the spread alongside with this one, so it's kind of like a remembrance of the thing. Oh, and there's that sticker that I took off from the previous page that I didn't like there, and I plopped it here, and it worked out. I'm just putting in kind of like a guide for brown being a passed on to-do list and the green being an added on to-do list. So that sums up my bullet journal. And let's do a wonderful flip through, because I absolutely am in love with the spreads that I've done. I feel like they're kind of practical. Hopefully they'll work for me. If not, I'll change things up next month. That's the beauty of bullet journals. You could change things up however fits your needs. Let me know down in the comments which spread was your favorite. If you have any suggestions for spreads that you want to see me do, or if you want me to do like a tips and tricks video for bullet journals, I'm more than happy to do so. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like, the thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more things like this, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!